Yes, that's right, Sarah Davy. That's how we like to start the day, isn't it? I saw you dancing in the green room there. She'll be on in just a moment. Actually, no, let's bring her onto the screen with me now so we can talk more about this. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Sarah Davy, everybody, good morning. Sorry about this ungodly hour, Sarah.
Bon dia.
Bon dia to you. And we were going to wear Spartan onesies. That'll be next time, right?
Yeah, next time. Next time.
This early morning. Yeah, so thank you very much for being with me nonetheless here this morning and the Gumpers this morning. And hopefully on the 15th of February, which that was the promo for. It's a nice little disco tune, that, isn't it?
It was. I felt like I was on like the Jonathan Ross show, and they're playing, or maybe like, you come on to music like boxers do.
Yeah, yes. That's going to have to be our walk-on music then when we have to.
Yeah, everyone is going to need a song, really.
Yeah, well, that's all part of this, actually. We've got Alison, who's been making a playlist of songs she wants to dance to. She's a major part of this, actually. When I talked to her about having a party here in São Martinho Do Porto, James is pleased to see you. Speak up, James. When I talked to her about the idea of having a disco in São Martinho, she's like, oh, yes. She doesn't want to go to a nightclub at midnight. God only knows when the Portuguese go to nightclubs. They go out for dinner at 9. They go to a gig at 10 or 11, don't they? Midnight. So the nightclub must be like 3 a.m. for Portuguese, I would have thought.
Exactly.
Or was it 10?
It's crazy. It is a lot. Everything's a lot later, I must admit.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, would you find the right venue with playing the right kind of music? In fact, I've had this conversation with a number of people, mainly expats. They'd be like, where would you go?
Yeah, I don't know what they play. I saw in as I was going near Óbidos the other day, I think it was called the Padaria, like the bakery disco, and it said danceteria in a very 70s, 80s sort of way. And I haven't been to a nightclub in Portugal. I haven't been to a nightclub for decades, it feels like.
I mean, I don't know if it's the same in America, but were we talking about this, Carl? Like when I was growing up, we always had parties. Birthday, people's
we were talking about this. Yes.
And in sort of I don't know what kind of venue really, to be honest, but yeah, there'd be a buffet, there'd be music, everybody would dance.
Yeah.
My parents had a 40th wedding anniversary end of 2023, and they rented like a room, and very much like that. Yeah. Everybody was up dancing. It's the talked about event even still now, because they've said we've not been up dancing like this in years because there's nowhere to go.
That, Sarah, is the vibe I'm looking for, and not at 2 a.m. This will probably be starting around 7 for the expat old giffers, myself included. And we will have a little bit of entertainment. We're going to have a bit of live music to get the party started, and a few jokes. Colin's going to do a few jokes, and then probably something like ABBA's Dancing Queen, or Earth, Wind and Fire September, or the Jackson 5's I Want You Back will drop, signifying the start of the disco, and women like Alison who've longed for this moment, and this kind of, it's a safe space in a way as well, isn't it? To drop the handbag, middle of the dance floor, stilettos off, boom, on there for the next hour or so. And then, I had thought of calling it Hernia's disco, the Greek god of disco dancing, Hernia.
But that doesn't sound right.
And maybe having paramedics.
I was thinking, are people going to have a hernia? Or like,
if we can have osteopaths and paramedics standing by to just pop those things back in. So don't let that put you off. But I'd love that. And I don't know if it's a global phenomenon, but you're absolutely right. As a kid, I remember going to 18th birthday parties, 21st birthday parties, wedding receptions. And it's that vibe, isn't it? With a buffet or a dinner dance. Back in the day, a dinner dance, a company would put on a dinner dance at Christmas, and there would be a DJ, and there'll be popular.
I think it's just cost, to be honest, and venue, because I don't know whether those venues sort of types of things still exist. So you're talking about hotels, and the cost is very expensive. So maybe that's the death of them.
It could be. Now, I thought we were going to be hiring a room. There's a beautiful room in a hotel in São Martinho do Porto, which is the Albergaria São Pedro. and it has a beautiful room, one of the best kept secrets in San Martino, I think, where you've got a view of the bay. It's their breakfast room, and I was thinking this would make a fantastic function room. And he does want quite a lot of money to hire it. And then I talked to his son. Me and Terence Austin were in the cocktail bar, which is part of the hotel. And we talked to the son who runs the cocktail bar. I said, well, why don't you have it in here? I'm going to be getting rid of the big snooker table. You can set up over here as a DJ. We'll do a bit of karaoke as well, by the way. And I've got those big speakers over there. You can use those. So he's letting us use the cocktail bar. And we've basically got the place to ourselves from around 7 o'clock on the 15th of February. It's Valentine's weekend. Why not come to São Martinho do Porto for the whole weekend? I've got a page on the website. I'll put the link to it in the chat. And figure out some accommodation so you can have a drink if you like to have a drink and a dance, and then stay the night and then make your way home on the next morning. I think it could be a fabulous weekend, and I'm hoping the start of many. But I mean, how does that sound to you?
Well, I was thinking that, if it goes well, and especially if the venue, it's not expensive like the other place, well, this could be a regular, once a quarter thing.
I think it should be. I think it should be once a quarter, and then maybe once a month. Not once a week, folks. That could be a little bit too intense. I think, quite possibly. And we can have new DJ names, like not Fat Boy Slim, but Old Boy Slim, maybe, or Old Boy Slightly Tubby. We can recreate our own.
There might be somebody with that skill set. I was at this. There's a new restaurant opened in Cascais, and it's sort of Asian. Yeah. And they had a DJ playing some music, and it was a older guy. He's obviously come to retire, and they've pulled him out of retirement.
There are loads of old farts who love DJing.
You may find.
Yeah, I think we will. We've got the Portuguese, we've got Gavin, we've got Terence himself. We've got a great bunch of people who are up for this. And come and meet them. We've got people coming down from Porto. The Blisses are coming down from Porto. Michael and Cheryl, I think, are coming down. We might have Clive coming up from the south in the Algarve. He's from the music scene, the British dance music scene from the 80s. Got some very cool people coming. And let's see what happens on the 15th. So please join us, and I hope we'll have a lot of fun then. Sorry, Sarah, to take up most of the slot that you've come to be with us about, talking about dancing and partying. But I guess that's a fairly good excuse, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And certainly probably a bit more entertaining. Well, I don't know. I'd say entertaining, but than the week we had last week.
Well, yes, let's talk then about, we have been looking at the Spartan FX weather. And often I say weather and currency are very similar because they're very changeable. Has that been the case in this last week?